In this LEGO City update, we're going to be placing my new and improved double Daily Bugle. Before I do that, I have to essentially change the entire ground floor, because when I built this mock here, I made a critical error with the placement of it on its base plate. Of course, the Daily Bugle will be placed here on Pop Culture Street, right next to the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is across the street from the Avengers Tower and right beside Diagon Alley and the 12 Grimwald Place facades. So what was the critical mistake that I made when building the Daily Bugle mock? Well, when you take a look at that 1.5 base plate plot of land right there in the LEGO City, it's right beside the Sanctum Sanctorum, which is a flat building, meaning whatever goes next to it has to stay within the boundaries of the base plate. Now, when I started building my Daily Bugle, I started from the ground floor and worked my way up. The ground floor doesn't have the red emergency staircase, so I didn't factor that into the spacing. And you can see that red emergency staircase comes 2 studs off the side of the building, therefore it cannot be placed beside the Sanctum Sanctorum. In order to fix this, I have to move the entire ground floor over 2 studs. But you can see there's 4 studs available there. I have decided that I'm going to move it over 3 studs, giving that staircase 1 extra stud of breathing room between the Sanctum Sanctorum. When I do that, that is going to essentially bring this right to the edge of the base plate. You can see those rail pieces take up 1 stud. Those will be right on the edge and will no longer have a spot for the New York sewer, the electrical box, the rat, or the cardboard boxes. Actually, the rat might fit. We're also going to lose this Vote for Osborne curved sign right here because it actually comes off the building 2 studs. It's not a big deal losing that one there because it would be pressed right up against the Diagon Alley entrance anyway, and we do have one over here which will still be visible because we have more space due to the staircase. So honestly, I originally anticipated just placing this building in the same video that I finished the interior details, just because I didn't think it was going to take very long to place and then put all the minifigures on it. Then when I was filming that review, I was like, oh my gosh, that staircase comes off the edge of the building by 2 studs. There's no way it's going to fit beside the Sanctum Sanctorum anymore. Ugh. So I was like, how did I not factor that in? And I guess it's just something that slipped by me because once again, I was positioning that base floor, trying to sort of center it on the base plate, and I didn't factor in that staircase. But it's all good. Ultimately, this transfer really didn't take that long. What I could have done is actually built another mills plate using 1.5 base plates and then transferred it over part by part onto there. But I've just decided to move it over because I'm literally running low on pieces to build mills plates. But yeah, maybe on second thought, I should sort some of my unsorted parts. That would probably be pretty smart because I bet you I probably have some in there. Either way, didn't take long just to shift everything over the 3 studs. This side of the building comes right up on the edge of the base plate there. And then on this side of the building, we now have space for that newspaper stand to go beside the building rather than being on the sidewalk, which is actually how it was in the original set. We've got the sewer on this side, the electrical box, some crates, all the dumpsters, and some rats behind the building here. As you can see, the building is no longer centered on the base plate, which is sort of how I wanted it to be, but unfortunately, just because of that stairwell, I'm not able to do that. But once again, I like how that newspaper stand is now tucked beside the building. The only way I could get this centered on a base plate is if I increase the size of the base plate, probably to like 2 plates. This is 1.5 here. I just don't want to allocate any more space to our Daily Bugle in the LEGO City. Really excited about placing this, so let's get to it. First things first, I just got to clean up the surrounding area. Going to get rid of that raised train track that I was contemplating adding to the LEGO City. Still haven't come to the verdict on what I'm going to do with that quite yet. Haven't quite decided. It might be coming back though. I've got some really cool stuff planned here for the LEGO City. Also got to move the Sanctum Sanctorum out of the way, and then we can place that Daily Bugle base. Good thing I have it split up right now because I can transfer it layer by layer. We got the first floor and now the second floor. And then the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor I've decided to move as one big unit. Had a little part pop off there on me, so I had to quickly just repair that. Now we're ready to bring that over and put it onto the 2nd floor. A little bit risky there, transferring all 3 of those floors at once, but it was all good. Now we just got to put those front panels on there to cover up our interior details. It's pretty cool how those front glass panels just clip in so easily. I love that. It's absolutely fantastic. Just got to realign the roof and get that secured, and then I can slide the Daily Bugle into its new home and reposition the Sanctum Sanctorum beside it. It's a snug fit when using Mills plates, and you can see the Sanctum Sanctorum is a little bit reluctant going into its home there, but here it is, looking pretty good. You can see the size of the Daily Bugle. It is just massive and looks really good. Well, everybody, I absolutely love the new and improved Daily Bugle here in the LEGO City. I honestly think it's the perfect size. The Avengers Tower is just taller than the Daily Bugle, so that sort of makes sense. I think the Sanctum Sanctorum is actually a little bit small. It would be cool to have one more midsection floor on that. Also, I've seen a really cool rebrickable model that fills in the remaining base plate. So it essentially creates this little module that fills that in. However, with that said, I think the alley of Diagon Alley, the Daily Bugle, and the Sanctum Sanctorum actually looks pretty good. The Daily Bugle does have a pretty big face on it. There's not a whole lot going on here other than like gray and lots of window glass. However, I think that's going to change when we deck this thing out with minifigures. Same with the backside. Once again, it does have quite a bit of glass and it is a pretty big gray building. I do like the added color of the red staircase and also the Just the Facts billboard. Now I did have to remove this Vote Osborne sign from the side of the building, so I could integrate that somewhere else on the building. Also, when I built this, I didn't use this large 16x8 sticker right here, which I could use somewhere. However, I don't think it's realistic to have a large TV screen on the backside of the Daily Bugle. Pop Culture Street is definitely full of awesome minifigures, and now it's time to add even more minifigures to the Daily Bugle. So let's get started with some storytelling. And of course, the first minifigure that I'm going to add is Spider-Man, slinging his web between the Daily Bugle and the Avengers Tower. Who's attacking Spider-Man? Well, it's the Green Goblin. He just threw one of his exploding pumpkin bombs at him. You can see I put him at a unique angle there using two of those transparent elements, and I just love this action scene right here. Classically, the Green Goblin would be bursting out of the window. I think this works just as well. I've got one more character who wants to join this airborne battle. You know who that is? Mysterio! Look at that. Got him at that awesome angle there by using one of these minifig elements down here. And then, of course, all of the transparent cylinders and also some transparent yellow ones there to have Mysterio flying through the air. So I also want to give the back of the building some love as well. So I decided to add a little battle back here. We've got Doc Ock right there. I love the way that his arms can be articulated. He's sort of suspended in mid-air there. Then we also have Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen right here. Spider-Gwen is shooting webs vigorously at Doc Ock. Also, we still have the Punisher down here brooding. On the top of the building, we have a very impressed Daredevil because Spider-Ham is showing off his handstand abilities. Okay, we've got to add one more airborne battle here on the Daily Bugle, and that is between Carnage and Venom. This one's sort of a blast from the past. I've had this in the LEGO City before, but it's a classic. I love this minifigure right here. The Sandman comes with an epic build for that base there, and you can see he's actually blowing one of our lampposts out of spot there, and it's flying through midair. So this battle right here is pretty epic. And you know who's capturing it all on film? Well, of course, Peter Parker. He's found a good perch on top of the bowling alley. So everybody, I stick to what I said in the past. This is by far my favorite Marvel set, and it's officially my favorite modular building here in the LEGO City. I love how many minifigures it comes with, and just the stories that you can tell with those minifigures are incredible. It is one of my favorite things to do with LEGO. Tell epic stories in a LEGO City setting. That is our placement of the new and improved double Daily Bugle here in the LEGO City on Pop Culture Street. Let me know what you think by commenting below. I think it's pretty epic. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned.